Oh, jeez.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at StocktonCon.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of StocktonCon. The value of wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out the Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh, you didn't know. We told you we'd be right back after this little break. We are back. This is the Value of Wrestling. This is your weekly roundup podcast. We talk about everything going down this week in professional wrestling. If you're paying attention, join in the chat, join in the conversation, and tell us what you think about what's going on this week in professional wrestling. If you're checking out the chat, you'll know it all. Anyways, on the Big Tyme,
Never know when someone's going to shoot on you.
that is Mr. Paulus Clarke, and of course the man that's oblivious to anything, the one and only New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, Mr. Miguel Z.
I'm just trying to keep myself in a frame of mind, clear head, because apparently you want someone to chop my heart out of my chest.
Read the chat.
No, and hell no. Thank you. No. Like I said, somebody wants my heart chopped out of my chest, so I'm just trying to keep myself in that frame of mind that it might happen.
What's hurting your feelings so bad?
Who's on X?
Everybody's on X.
Crying out to Matt Cardona, please, can we get you to chop Mr. Z?
Yes, and you rebutted it going, and can we get a shout out while you do it? So, I mean...
Hey, I want to get my... If we're going to get it, I might as well get my money's worth, right?
People are weird on X.
Tasty toes.
Yes, tasty toes, the tasty treat. If you want to taste them toes, just have some tasty toes.
Oh, not
tasty
again.
Toes.
Not again.
Always again. You're going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Value Wrestling. Welcome to the weekly roundup podcast. We're going to talk everything about this week in wrestling. If you didn't watch what we just did with Forbidden Door, I don't know what to tell you. It was a good little show. We talked about what we could talk about. It was what it was. It was enjoyable for what it was. Now we're here to talk about the whole week in wrestling, everything that's going down in this week in professional wrestling. Which Forbidden Door was a big part of it, but I mean it was a good week in wrestling. I think WWE set us up on some good expectations with Raw and SmackDown, and did a huge follow up on SmackDown, which leaves you on more cliffhangers. AEW Dynamite did somewhat of it, did what it needed to do leading into Forbidden Door, and of course, if you watch Collision, you know that they showed a preview or a video package or a vignette, whatever you want to call it, of the return of Hangman Page. And with tonight's win by Swerve Strickland, it looks like we're going to get Hangman. Because the thing is, if we know anything about Hangman, and this is why I'm going to say, the Owen Hart Cup tournament, we have a wild card spot. The Elite have come out and go, we have somebody for that spot. Who would they have for that spot? Well, now it seems like Hangman. Okay, he got suspended. Again, he only got indefinitely suspended from the Elite, as much as Jack Perry got indefinitely suspended from AEW. So a suspension's only a suspension until they decide to lift the suspension. And the other aspect of that, the Elite have challenged the next team of AEW or whatever they're challenging at Blood and Guts, and they have 4 guys and they need a 5th. So Hangman Page would fit into that for one. A heel Hangman would probably be a really good thing for Hangman now. And the other aspect, what is one thing we know that Hangman wanted to make sure happened before he left? He wanted to make sure that Swerve didn't win that title. Now that Swerve has that title, what do you think Hangman's going to do? Everything in his power to make sure that he loses that title. So I think Hangman's going to show up to take that title off of Swerve. I think you see what's going to happen at All In. I don't know if that's your best or biggest All In main event match, for the AEW World Title, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page. But I don't know what type of match you may need to do that in, because you really got to elevate that to make it worth it now. And Hangman finally needs his redemption. There's a good chance Hangman's going to win that title off of Swerve Strickland. But after tonight, you got to kind of say that Swerve did solidify his title reign. He got a big win over the Billy Goat. Will Ospreay, clean in the ring. There was shenanigans in this match, but not shenanigans that helped either guy win. So it was a clean win. So, I mean, you have to say Swerve is the best in the world right now because he beat the best in the world. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, it's not who we thought was going to win, but the right guy won. And that's, to me, all that matters. Because Swerve, he's going to eventually drop that title, obviously. But he needs to have a strong title run regardless.
Well,
and I think by defeating Will Ospreay tonight...
Yeah, there was the minor worry of them hot potatoing the title, which is
minor. We've been talking about this for weeks. We thought it was going to go to Will.
We thought they were going to hot potato it to at least to Will, and then maybe to Danielson. But our real major concern was not just hot potatoing the title, but we were worried about Swerve getting a loss so quickly after he worked so hard to earn the spot. Tonight, I have to say yes, he solidified his spot as the world champion. Now, if he goes all the way to All In, which looks like how they're going to pace it, because he won't be defending the belt at Bloods and Guts. He will be in the Blood and Guts match as the champion against the Elite, which makes sense. And then he can build towards the Hangman feud. Now, of course, Bryan Danielson's still a favorite at this time to win the Owen Hart Cup tournament. That could still happen. We could get Swerve versus Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson could win the title from Swerve and then take it to some point in time before he retires to have a title run, and then maybe
as a full-time wrestler.
Yes, as a full-time wrestler. You're correct. I hate everybody who's like, he's retired. I'm like, only from full-time in-ring action. So Bryan could beat Swerve at All In after he wins the Owen Hart Cup tournament. That story is really good too. And then he could beat Swerve, become the champion, and then drop that belt to Will Ospreay sometime later in the year. But if you're bringing Hangman back and you did that vignette on Collision, you have the mystery spot in the Owen Hart Cup tournament, then I'm kind of more leaning that it's got to kind of be Hangman. Because if you're going to rebuild Hangman, then yes, he needs to win that tournament, so he deserves that title shot at Swerve. And, of course, his whole material motive would be to make sure that Swerve loses that title. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that
the Elite would just be a means to an end for Hangman.
Here's my question. When did Tony get off the powder to try to finish the story?
Well, every 3 to 6 months, Tony realizes, I forgot about this. We need to finish this story. So, no, Mr. Clark's leaving us a lot. Oh, both of you left. No, Mr. Clark's back. Oh, Mr. Z's back. What is this tonight? People leaving, coming, going. Everybody's showing up and showing up. Okay, hello, welcome back.
If Cody can finish his story, Hangman can too.
Oh Lord.
Tasty toes, tasty toes. You put your foot in your mouth and you have some tasty toes. Don't ever compare Hangman's story to Cody's story. They're not the same. They don't go together. Anywho. That's that. Mr. Z, we didn't really talk too much about. How do you feel about Jay White not making it on this pay-per-view at all? A former champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling, a multi-time champion as far as I recall, and he was an IWGP champion.
First ever Grand Slam champion.
Yes. This band has been regulated to a trios tag team with the Bang Bang Boys and Juice Robinson. Which I'm not the Bang Bang Gangs, the Bang Bang Twins, the Frudio, Budio, Tudio, Rudios, whatever. I don't care what we call them. They're okay, but this whole storyline's getting me nuts. And now he's in a Freebird style 3-man tag titles with 10, 12, 1,500 different titles for the same thing. I don't know how you have 9 belts for the same thing. 9 belts for trios tags. Why? Anywho, he doesn't get on the card, and now Christian, your former TNT champion who's lost that belt, who's not going back after the belt, who wasn't put in this ladder match, which never makes sense to me, Tony. There is some stipulations called a rematch clause when a champion loses his title, and this is not just like WWE lore. So if anybody comes up, well, then we do that. No. This is like ancient wrestling lore. This goes all the way back to when all these titles. This goes back to like before pre-NWA days when the champion lost the title. They might go do something, but they were always added a rematch. There's always been a rematch. AEW just throws this out the window. Let me, Mr. Z, do they do rematches in New Japan? Does a champion lose a title and get a rematch?
Okay. Yeah, that's normal.
Well, I'm just trying to think.
I mean, look, tonight stated it right there. El Destino, he got his rematch.
Yes. Well, I'm just trying to figure out where Tony Khan comes up with this concept that a champion loses the belt and then they just go off into Never Land.
No, it's AEW World.
And then they get to a 3-man group. Or
when's Joe going to get his rematch?
The 6-man, 10-man, 12-man, 9 title, whatever belts they're defending or fighting for. I mean, how do you have somebody like Christian who carried the TNT title to prestige and made it almost better than the AEW World title at one point? So now he's running around and he's about to team up with Kill Switch and Nick Wayne to fight the Bang Bang Gang for their titles. Like, I can't make that sense. Like, why wasn't he put in this title match for the ladder? I mean, that could have been his rematch. He should have been in this ladder match as a former TNT champion. I just never get it. A champion's just like, where's MJF's rematch? Where's Joe's rematch? Joe's
Maybe
over here running around with Logan Shibata taking on the Circus Freak Carnival of the trees, where you have the learning tree and the redwood and the bad apple and the Cobb salad. And I thought the name I came up was better than what they were announcing him this morning as the Cobb salad. I thought the stump made more sense, but hey, whatever. Why does AEW kill their champions? And I predicted this. I said as soon as Joe loses that title, it'll be regulated to nothing. Christian loses his title, is regulated enough. Tony Khan says that AEW will be debuting in Puerto Rico soon.
But yet they find Wardlow in catering and was like, all right, let's make you look strong again.
Where's Wardlow? He hasn't even shown up with Undisputed Era in forever. Him and Adam Cole must have taken off on a vacation together or something. Cool. Tony Khan's going to take AEW to Puerto Rico.
I got breaking news for us.
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
As of 50 minutes ago, the new Patreon has launched.
Sweet.
All
the
right.
new Patreon. So
That's
we
what
let
I'm
everybody
talking
know
about.
about that. I guess I have to change the links in the description if it's in there.
Oh, yeah.
Our Patreon, the official Value of Wrestling Patreon, which will feature content and videos and everything else. Tasty toes, tasty toes. But
What the fuck with the tasty toes, man? Come on.
Dude, you should be honored.
Because it's funny.
You should be honored to be Tasty Toes.
But
You should be honored to be
tasting no toes at this point.
You should be honored to be the face behind Tasty Toes. This should be like the greatest thing in your lifetime. I mean, this should be like a triumphant victory. You're going to be the face of Tasty Toes. We're going to plaster your face across.
And we're putting you over.
Yes. You may not like the gimmick.
We're
but
still
gonna
putting
put
you over.
So get up and celebrate good times. Come on.
Good times. Come on.
At least it'll have a better run than Mercedes Monet's title runs that she's got going on right now.
We do it. See here. But anywho, yes, sir.
If that ever comes to fruition, I'll have her take a picture with a box of Tasty Toes.
You're gonna I'm very, very confused what you just said. Who's gonna have a picture with Tasty Toes?
I said that Tasty Toes will have a better run than Mercedes Monet's title run right now.
Okay.
Well, for dang sure, gonna have it better than her first title run. That never happened because she lost to Willow.
Cool. I could launch this very live on Patreon too, so you can watch on Patreon. But we don't have any subscribers, but it's good to know that. Anyways, get back to business at hand. I called the learning tree the learning dick.
Who said that?
The chat, Chris
Look in the comments.
Leclerc. I'm sorry, but
Or the
I'm
chat.
good with names. Don't get mad. Anyways, AEW is going to go to Puerto Rico. Hopefully, they don't get stabbed by who's the big dog down there? Are they really gonna get along with Cologne? That's gonna be interesting. I thought Carlos WWE had a partnership.
Or the clones in general.
Yeah, I thought the clones ran AEW or Puerto Rico. I told you that Mercedes Moné was gonna be a double champion after AEW. Well, yes, we knew that.
We've been saying it.
I don't know who disagreed with you on that. We've been saying
no one disagreed on that one.
Because he didn't want Monet to win.
I'm just a bitter New Japan fan that doesn't want to see her with any belt right now.
Well, she has 2 belts now, and I hear that she may be going for some other belt down in some other territory. I guess she is going to be Monet the belt collector. Is this new concept they're coming up with? More money, more belts, more money.
Mercedes Monet right now. CMML, I'm looking for you.
So there you go, Mr. C. You should be getting ready for more belts, more money, Monet. Who just looks like a cheap generic knockoff of Sasha Banks.
More money, more money, more money.
And as we found out today, she has creative control. So she can pull a Hulk Hogan anytime she wants.
Oh, Lord.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
You know what I mean, bro? Anyways.
That was probably tonight. That don't work for me, brother.
Kyle Fletcher, man. Kyle Fletcher on a pay-per-view that had a match that was even worth it. Anyways, we talked about that over the Forbidden Door match. We talked about it. We got in depth.
Yes.
We discussed it. I don't know if
beat a dead horse.
Yes. Let's not beat the dead horse. Monday Night Raw was a good show.
Beating it anyways.
And we're going to beat you until, anywho. Monday Night Raw.
We're not going to beat him. We're just going to feed him Tasty Toes.
Yes. Until he can't take any more in his mouth.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys.
Welcome back. Monday Night Raw was a good
We're
show.
not on Patreon.
We had Drew McIntyre come out and declared he's going to be in the Money in the Bank. Now he's going to go in the Money in the Bank, and it looks like him, Sheamus, and Ilya Dragunov will be facing off on Monday Night Raw. Dominic Mysterio and the love story between him and Liv Morgan continues on. Dominic's going to take on Rey Mysterio this week. Raw's looking to be really hyped, really good. It's going to be an excellent show. We're moving into Money in the Bank, which will be this Saturday. So Saturday night, we will be here with your Money in the Bank review show to break down everything that happened on Money in the Bank. Or at least we'll be a little more relieved because I think it's going to be 2 Money in the Bank matches, a couple other title matches. We might have 6 matches on the entire card and be able to digest
5 to 6,
it.
yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Mr. Chris. Mercedes versus Dr. Britt Baker at All In. Yes, we talked about that on the Forbidden Door show. That got painted in bright colors. I mean, that's obvious. Just is Britt Baker going to make her return and then in her first match win a title back? I mean, how are they going to play this one out?
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm just kind of like, how are they going to bring Britt Baker back to lose to Mercedes Moné? It's going to be very interesting. Hopefully they give her some wins before she has to step in the ring with Mercedes Moné.
Yes, that would be the
Put her over strong like Wardlow.
Oh, you know what they're going to do? They're going to make Britt Baker go through the ringer. They're going to bring back the rankings for Britt Baker. The rankings are going to matter this month because she's going to have to work her way up to get a TBS title shot. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I see it coming from a mile away. Britt Baker, Mercedes Moné, yes, we'll be all in. Dakota Kai versus Zoe Starks versus Ivy Nile.
What's up, buddy?
That's the other women's in the Money Bank. Cool. I haven't seen it, but I know it's been announced that Dakota Kai was crying or very emotional on her Twitch, talking about she's not getting a push. A lot of people are upset that she's not getting a push, and so I'm confused on the details on this because I'm like, I thought she was part of one of the hottest groups in WWE right now. I know she's not the quote-unquote probably star of the group because right now it's Io Sky, but I'm kind of like,
Io Sky.
What push do what push do you want? I mean, I'm confused. I thought Dakota Kai's in there with Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Asuka's out with injury. But I'm like, I think they're setting Dakota Kai to be a big part of something that's coming in the future. But I'm confused.
Come here.
Of course, I didn't watch the Twitch. I'm just taking secondhand notes and secondhand news and what's being reported. Obviously, Mr. Z seen the report. I don't know if Mr. Clarke's seen any of these reports, but that's a big news story that seems to be going out there. Dakota Kai is upset she's not getting pushed. And I think this is the second time she's made a statement or a story or whatever about not being pushed.
Yeah.
So
I don't think being pushed means to her what it means to, well, the company.
Yeah.
Like if you're a part of one of the hottest acts, you're being pushed. Now you may not be pushed in the way that you want. That's
No.
another story.
yeah,
But she's definitely getting TV time.
that's where I'm very confused. I'm just like, I thought she is getting TV time. She may not be a big spotlight, and of course she's going to be participant in this Money in the Bank briefcase match. Will she get in? I don't know, but we'll have to see. But let me look here. Ringside News is reporting Dakota Kai makes the case for a singles opportunity on a WWE Premium Live event. This is what we're going to get down to. Maybe this will clear up. Dakota Kai has consistently shown off her intelligence and charisma on WWE television programs, especially as a member of Damage Control faction. That's helped her get a solid following. It seems she is actively making a case for herself to receive a singles opportunity at a WWE Premium Live event. During a recent Twitch stream, Dakota Kai passionately advocated for more singles opportunity on the main roster. Reflecting on her experience as a former women's tag team champion in WWE NXT, she expressed a strong desire to showcase her skills on a larger stage, especially at a WWE Premium Live event. And I quote, and these would be the words of Dakota Kai herself, "I've never had an opportunity as a single competitor on a PLE. I'm not talking about NXT. You know what I mean? I'm getting like, ugh, you know what? That feeling where you're like," and she bangs to death, "Give me an opportunity, please. Anything. I'm crying because I'm so emotional about this." Then she laughs, "No, it's my allergies. I'm not actually crying, but seriously, come on now. Get behind me, bro." Since her official call-up, Dakota Kai has participated in 6 Premium Live events. Contrary to her hopes expressed on Twitch, she has yet to receive a singles opportunity to showcase her skills. Said Dakota has been involved in tag team matches alongside Io Sky, competed in the 6 women's tag match with Damage Control, and participated in the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match. Dakota Kai has an opportunity to get her first appearance as a single star at a Premium Live event, as she is set to square off against Zoe Starks and Ivy Nile on a triple threat match for the Money in the Bank qualifying match on next week's episode of Raw. Therefore, we'll have to wait and see if she will be able to pick up the huge win and book her spot in Money in the Bank. Ringside News. That's the reports coming out. So it seems that she's making this plea for a singles match on a PLE. I would say, yeah, I think I could follow a reasoning that she may deserve that. But again, it's also a storyline. And I think she's been playing the role in Damage Control, because if I'm not right, I may be wrong, but she only recently came back to in-ring action after injury. So I don't know how much this is WWE trying to protect her and see where she is before they shoot her to the moon. Can she do that? Can she, go a full match? Because she did just recently, before the Women's Royal Rumble. I mean, she wasn't wrestling. She was the kind of the manager, the valet, or whatever, of Damage Control, and she's been out with injury. She's just started to come back, and I think maybe they're just trying to see where she is and see what they can do with her. And of course, that also comes up with creative. And right now, she's a part of a group where Io Sky is kind of the focus. So I mean, I understand her feelings, and I'm sure she's very passionate about being a big star. And I think you have to be. I think Mr. Clarke would probably call me neurotic, but I'm very passionate about this brand and being the very best at this brand and being the best at everything, and having, us expand and blow up and be something great and do it better than everybody else. And I know I get neurotic and crazy and get very passionate about it. I get passionate when we don't get viewers, because I'm like, what the hell? But that's me. I think we all have a different way of showing
That's
that.
the only thing I would call you neurotic on. The rest of it, I just call passion.
Yeah,
But,
that's it.
I can understand her passion. I think we can all agree she definitely would deserve a one-on-one match on a PLE, but I mean, is there a storyline there where she's in place? Is she in title contention right now? I think Io Sky is more of that focus, and that's where she's kind of getting put to the side. But I mean, there's a lot of women on that roster that aren't getting PLE matches. And right now, with the PLE structure of WWE, if it's not a major cards, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, or the Royal Rumble, they're limiting those matches to mostly either title matches or really deep feuded matches that have a storyline So I mean, it's a little harder to
Right.
get on a PLE. What people call the B-rated PLEs, because they're not making those many matches, because it's not about getting everybody on the card. Unlike AEW, where we have to have 15 matches and everybody gets on the card except Jay White, because he's safety scissors. But
Right. Oh Lord.
but you know, WWE I feel is doing it better, where they give us simple matches in a shorter amount of time, but give us good quality matches that we enjoy and we're pleasure and we're not tired out by the end of the show. But Dakota Kai, what do you guys think?
Like right now.
She did great in NXT. It's about timing and creative. And just right
That's
now,
really-
it's not her time.
That's really where it's at now. It's just they don't know what to do with her yet.
I kind of agree with Big Time. I think they're testing her out, seeing what she can physically do. You can want to be the main event all you want, but if your body can't hang, you know. And I think they're figuring that out as a company.
Other news coming out of NXT, WWE recently called up superstar in this last draft. They were drafted to the main roster. I believe they were drafted Raw. Donovan Dijak is supposedly no longer with WWE as of the 28th of this month. His contract was not renewed. There seem to be contract talks from both sides. If you go to the Value Wrestling Patreon page, a very new one that is now back up, I think there's at least 2 reports from 2 different aspects of our team, or is there one? I forgot who. I know there's one that talks about Donovan Dijak and what he had to say after being released. And they talk about, basically he comes out saying, we were talking, then all of a sudden it was just no more, and then they were like, we're not going to renew your contract, and you know, Dijak thought he was in the right place, doing great things, and everybody was happy with him. Lots of promises, and then his contract was not renewed. And then as of this weekend, the stories are breaking all across the internet that Dijak was somebody who was leaking news to Sean Ross Sapp, giving leaks and reports and talking to them. Dijak did appear on a recent indie show, and a lot of rumors that he would show up possibly in AEW, or even rumors of him showing up in TNA. Dijak, I know Mr. Clarke has a little more experience with Dijak, especially in his earlier non-Tony Khan Ring of Honor days, that, you know, there is something special in this talent. Unfortunately, it seems WWE dropped. He did okay in the original NXT, then he got called up to the main roster as part of Retribution, which just kind of killed everybody who was a part of that. They didn't work out in the way they thought it would. It went really bad. Of course, that was under the redacted era. Then Dijak wound up coming. I don't know. Did he get released and then rehired, or did he just get sent back to NXT? I do not remember. Guess what?
He got released and then re-signed.
Okay. So he was released and he was re-signed under the Triple H era. He made a lot of moves. He was making some good moves. He was getting pushed up in the NXT roster. He was supposed to, from what I understand, go for an NXT title run, then was drafted to Raw, and then he was never seen again. And now, after his recent release, we don't know, but a lot of weird rumors and everything coming on about a Dijak. Your thoughts, gentlemen, on Dijak, his contract ending? You know, I know he probably will find another place to go and be just fine. But
He's
what
gonna
are your
land
thoughts?
somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's a spot for him. Whether if it's he does a small tour in the Indies and then goes land somewhere. I mean, he's a great talent. I mean, his earlier days in NXT, he had stellar matches. I mean, there's a lot there. It's just where he ends up and how they use him.
What do you think?
I think, at least for my taste, a part of what hurt him was his creative, like this Punisher-like character. It's been done a million times by other people on the indies.
Right.
It's just like, but before he became to WWE, he was used as a big guy, but he was used interestingly. He was also a little bit leaner, I guess, so he kind of had a different look. He's kind of stockier now, so I don't know if that plays into it or not. But like, if you get away from the Punisher type character and just, I mean, to me, he got over just on his finishing maneuver. Feast your effing eyes, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
Just give him wins and give him
Something.
like he doesn't really need much of a character. Just really, I mean, he could get over just as a wrestler, really, when they let him.
Where do you think he should go? Anybody, anywhere? I know one place will say he shouldn't go. I mean,
There's only one place we would like him to go, but you know.
Well, I mean, I think he could be in TNA.
TNA would know how to use him.
Well, but I think he could be special in New Japan if he got over there and got some of that training. I think we'd all agree he doesn't need to go to AEW because he just get shoved around in circles that he wouldn't.
Don't put that out there because who's watching. Don't put that out there.
Hijack's already teased hijacking AEW Forbidden Door. He's already made a scene, so I mean, it's already out there. I'm not the first one to say it, and nobody does say it. Everybody wants. The funny part, everybody's like, oh, they're leaving WWE, they should go to AEW. And it's like, yeah, for what? I'm like, why are these people all obsessed that everybody who jumps from WWE should automatically go to AEW? Because if you look at AEW, they're so overloaded, it's hard to get everybody out there anyways. And then they have to give us a 15-card pay-per-view with 5 matches on a 0 out. In an hour and a half, we got 5 matches. You all understand that? In an hour and a half, they put on 5 matches. That is not
good. Look at his face. Does this look like the face of a man who's wide awake right now? No. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
But
insert major sarcasm.
But he doesn't have anything that's going to differentiate him from anybody else. And he'd be regulated to Ring of Honor and Rampage. And under a Tony Khan Ring of Honor, I don't know how great that is. Mr. Clarke would have to tell me if that's still as special as it once was, or if it's just kind of like you take it for what it is.
One, you take it for what it is. 2, the potential's always there, but Tony Khan does not capitalize on that potential.
No.
Asuka provided an update on her condition, explaining she needs time off to treat a lingering knee injury. She mentioned that the European tour had taken a toll on her knee, which had been hurting her for a while, and she appreciated the assistance from her partners during this challenging period. Asuka would reveal that she underwent knee surgery, which appears to be an issue that did not go away, and she was limping a few months prior. Sean Ross spoke with Asuka during a Q&A on Fightful Select, and it looks like, from the information we're gathering, she will not be making a return this year to the ring.
It's sad, but I mean, she's got to do what she's got to do to get her body back in order. So,
yeah,
the damage control.
Take your time, Asuka. It'll be there when you get back.
Damage control is slightly hurt, but I think this is better for damage control in the instance that Asuka's out, she can go heal. There's not a whole lot that Asuka was bringing to damage control. It wasn't a huge loss or a huge add. I mean, it's a good place for her to be. The Kabuki Warriors, the women tag team champion, was fun, but with Asuka out, it's not like it really affected anything. This is an opportunity with Asuka being out that Kairi Sane and maybe Dakota Kai can take up those spots and start shining as the next member of this group, depending on where this group's going.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Big news report coming out after Friday's SmackDown. There is deep-rooted frustration within WWE over Fox and the more and more SmackDown censorship. WWE presented, and this comes from Ringside News again, WWE presented SmackDown at Madison Square Garden this week, with fans at home notice a lot of blacking screens. Unless you're watching it from an overseas venue, if you're watching on TNT from overseas, and they're not getting those same blackouts because they're on the same censorship, but if you're watching Fox, they're getting a lot of black screens or a lot of censoring. This is WWE's new method of censoring dirty fan chants, or it's certainly noticed within the company. This isn't WWE's method. Let's make that clear. This is not WWE saying they want to censor this or that way. This is Fox censoring out that way. So let's make that clear. This is an error. This is WWE's new method. No, this is not WWE's method. This is a Fox. Just why would WWE be upset about the frustration with the censoring ship if they were doing it? That doesn't make sense. Learn how to write an article that makes sense. You can't say WWE's upset with the censoring ship of SmackDown and then say, this is WWE's new method of censoring dirty fan chants. No, this is Fox's way of censoring that stuff.
Almost sounded like you said Dirty Sanchez than dirty fan chants.
We're not talking about Dominic Mysterio. Anywho. Fans of Madison Square Garden had a potty mouth during the mini chants on SmackDown. Instead of muting the feed, the network blacked out the screen as it was a wardrobe malfunction occurred. This was a decision made by the network, not by WWE. So this writer's an ignorant fuss. Who wrote this article? I don't know. Anyways, you're an idiot because you wrote, and I quote, this is from Ringside News. You can go find this, and I quote, "This is WWE's new method of censoring dirty fan chants." Then they go on to say, fans at Madison Square Garden had a potty mouth during many chants on SmackDown. Instead of muting the feed, the network blacked out the screen as if it was a wardrobe malfunction occurred. This was a decision made by the network, not WWE. You're Booch, I'm glad we have a really great editor on the staff because she wouldn't allow stuff like this to get on our Patreon page. So go check out our Patreon page. I'm guaranteeing you we have the best editor that would be top of the line that would compete on any major news source to be an editor. And he wouldn't let stuff like this get by because he'd be like, no, that's stupid. Don't be dumb. Anywho, Sean Ross Sapp noted on Fightful Select that there was frustration within WWE over these attitudes. The frequent blackouts made WWE look bad because it seems like their feed from Madison Square Garden kept dropping out, rather than indicating that the live chants caused the brief outage. So Sean Ross Sapp sticking in and saying that a lot of the stuff that's being blacked out, and I guess
wait. We're having that same issue over here on YouTube. You keep blurring in and out.
Who?
Our
Tony
YouTube
Khan.
feed, it'll black
Okay.
in and out.
Well, it looks fine at the moment to me. Dakota, what
Might
has
have to
damage
lag, 'cause I don't always
control?
know.
What has damage control done since Bayley left the group? Well, they were tag team champions for a little bit, at least the Kabuki Warriors, which are part of damage control. And Io Sky is in the Money in the Bank racing for it. Yeah, we're gonna go out and we're gonna come back. It'll be fine. There we are. Dakota Kai's first match was a tag match this February 2nd when she turned on Bayley. Yes, she came back from injury. So, I mean, it's kind of like she needs time to heal from all that. Anyways, frustration. WWE is moving to, at least Raw is going to move to Netflix, and there'll be no censorship, according to Triple H.
Well, what's funny about that is Raw's going to Netflix, but SmackDown's going to USA Network.
Well, but USA Network doesn't censor Raw as bad as Fox censors SmackDown right now. So at least on USA Network and the time slot, they're going to be, I'm sure they're going to be a little more liberal with them on USA Network, and they won't give the black screen. Right. They'll just hit the mute button. The old class beeper button.
Yeah.
So why Fox does it this way? I think Fox and WWE are into something more than we know. Fox was just, I don't know. Fox is Fox. Your guys' thoughts on the censoring ship? I think we all agree it's just stupid.
Yeah, no.
It's silly the way they're going about it. I mean, I understand some things need to be censored just because it's general audience, but black screen seems rather silly to me.
Yeah.
In other news, Angelo Dawkins ties the knot over the weekend. Congratulations to Antonio Knox and Angelo. Excuse me. Angelo Dawkins ties the knot this weekend. Congratulations to Angelo Dawkins, who recently took to social media to announce his marriage to his partner. Angelo Dawkins made it official. He's a married man and completely off the market.
Cheers to him.
So congratulations, Angelo Dawkins. Congratulations to hooking the old ball and chain. You're done. Good luck. No, we wish you the best luck. We hope that you have.
I don't know. Maybe he's hoping to get that reality show like Bianca and Tess.
Oh, no.
Reunion of fan favorite faction isn't off the table for NXT and TNA partnership. Ringside News says the partnership between NXT and TNA is evolving with ongoing development and new possibilities emerging regularly. This collaboration has arisen the prospect of a long-awaited reunion, delighting many fans. The Rascals consist of Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Myron Reed. Miguel and Wentz are currently with Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Wesley, formerly known as Desmond Xavier, was also a member of the stable. Fans are eager to see a reunion, especially with NXT's new deal with TNA. A Rascals reunion seems possible given the NXT and TNA partnership. The potential for fan reaction is high, and the collaboration offers many exciting opportunities. So, the Rascals at WWE Source commented, nothing is off the table as the partnership grows. Mr. Clarke Go ahead, Mr. Z.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, shoot, and NXT fans can't wait for Joe Hendry to come back.
Well, and we just had Dempsey show up on TNA. Charlie Dempsey,
Yeah,
son
he was
of
at the
William
tapings.
Regal. So,
Yeah.
well, Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this? Because you know the Rascals a little more than probably Lubo. And
Yes.
but what are your feelings on the possibility
Here's
of
the
that
thing.
happening?
All things are on the table. I understand that. But actually, I did not give a dang about Wesley until he went solo.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until his NXT run, even when he was in a tag team, I didn't care about Wesley until he started going solo. The best thing Wesley has done is bet on himself or have, the team, the creative team behind him, help him go solo. This Rascals bit is not the business for me.
You've heard it, folks.
Now, I love Trey Miguel, again, but Trey Miguel solo compared to his Rascals stable.
July 1st, Monday Night Raw. Another match has been added to the show. Karrion Kross will go head-to-head with Xavier Woods. So Xavier Woods and Karrion Kross are probably going to meet in the middle of the ring. This is going to be interesting to see. Also on Raw this week, the WWE Women's World Championships on the line when Liv Morgan takes on Selena Vega. The Money in the Bank qualifying match of Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Ilya Dragunov. And, of course, the Women's Money in the Bank qualifying match saw Zoe Stark versus Dakota Kai versus Ivy Island. Rey Mysterio will take on Dominic Mysterio. Should be a great show. What will happen with Drew McIntyre? Drew McIntyre is shown with wife and his dog enjoying a sunny day in a park somewhere with CM Punk's bracelet around his arm. Carrying the gimmick on the outside world. How old school is that for you?
That's beautiful. That is truly beautiful.
You see him trolling.
Sammy Guevara in the news as AEW planning outside the box return for Sammy Guevara. AEW experienced its shares of controversy, and this comes from Ringside News again. Controversy backstage issues since its inception. Sammy Guevara is recently suspended, but plans are in place for his return. On February 14th episode of Rampage, Guevara faced Jeff Hardy in a no disqualification match. During the bout, Hardy sustained a broken nose, but managed to finish the contest shortly afterwards for not following concussion protocol during the match, and has not been seen on AEW. Q&A podcast with Sean Ross Sapp. It revealed the creative plans for Guevara's return are being discussed. Sapp mentioned that there are things in the works and it may be a bit outside the box. Sapp went on to say, I've heard there have been talks, creative plans for him, a little bit outside the box stuff planned for him, which is good because I don't think you need to have him with Chris Jericho anymore. With AEW's Forbidden Board happening tonight, could Guevara make his return and align with could his return align with the event? What is going to go on? We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. Jeff Hardy has returned from this injury, except it's in TNA. And the Hardy Boys are not under contract with anybody. Mm-hmm. They are working basically on a handshake agreement, the old school way with TNA at this time. But they are not under an official contract, so anything is possible with the Hardy Boys' future. And Jeff, a big advocate of returning to WWE before he retires. Mr. Z, I need to ask you about this stuff. I've sent you many clips all day and the other day, whenever it was. What is this crap about wrestling on a bus and the mayor, or not on a bus, on a train, and the mayor of Tokyo beating the murder grandpa on the train? I mean,
this is DDT. This is not New Japan.
I did say it was New Japan, but I know
that makes sense now.
Yes, you have a little more experience with some of this stuff, especially the murder grandpa. Not only that, the murder grandpa got slapped or chopped by the mayor of Tokyo on a train. They're wrestling on a train, men, women, and everything else. And at one point, Suzuki, Minoru Suzuki, the murder grandpa, pulled a Brian Pillman and pulled a gun on the train. He pulled an Arn Anderson. He pulled a Cash Wheeler. He pulled a gun in a wrestling match on a train with the mayor.
And this surprises
what is this stuff?
Mind you, DDT is its own entity that they have fun with. They constant matches on the train. Mick Foley pinning X-Pac at Stockton Con. I mean, it is what it is.
You have to remember, this is the same promotion that had Kenny Omega fight a doll.
Oh, and Kota Ibushi, same thing.
Big news coming out from Shinsuke Nakamura. Everybody wondering what's going on with Shinsuke Nakamura. Has WWE used him to the best of his potential, or is he floundering around in the world of WWE? And coming out of Ringside News and many other sources. Go ahead, Mr. Clarke. I know you want to say something. No?
Shinsuke's making his money. That's all it is at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Nakamura's been part of the
UFC
WWE
last night.
Nakamura's been a part of the WWE family for well over 8 years, and after he parted with New Japan to go to the U.S., but many fans feel his run in WWE has been largely hit or miss, which is true. In fact, Nakamura has now revealed his true feelings about his future in WWE. Nakamura joined WWE in early 2016 to much fanfare. Initially, he made a strong impact, capturing the NXT Championship twice in his debut year, and later triumphing in the 2018 Royal Rumble, then going on to a feud as a heel against AJ Styles, which never, ever made sense. Recently, Nakamura has been less prominently featured on WWE program, leading to some fans spectating about his future. However, in an interview with Aaron Bronstery of Sportsnet, Nakamura revealed his commitment to WWE. He stated his desire to continue wrestling for WWE, citing unfinished goals and opportunities to deliver more dream matches for the fans. Nakamura went on to say, "I've been wrestling for WWE," and I quote, "for over 8 years, and I want to keep wrestling for WWE to give the fan more dream matches. That's what I want to do. I want to show my passion. Also, I brought the Japanese style to WWE, but I still think I'm not accomplished. I'm still a challenger, and I will keep challenging." That's on Nakamura. WWE, same with WWE. I think it's the safest place to go unless he wants to go back to New Japan. But then again, I don't know if he wants to be in New Japan because he might have to go do an AEW show, and who knows how bad they'll ruin him over there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, let Nakamura let Nakamura to make his money and finish his career out with WWE. I'm all for more dream matches. I mean, where can you go wrong with that?
So
would I like him to have some more victories? Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Worst case scenario, he's making his money, so I ain't mad at him. If anything, I'm mad at WWE Creative.
If he's happy, let him be happy.
Exactly. Do I really want to know? Okay, I got a news report here in a second from Mr. Z. Once I pull it up here, it's titled
I need to
right up your alley.
Guys. Come on now.
Tony Khan, we can chant meat anytime.
Oh my God. Can y'all stop putting me with the meat?
This comes from Fightful Select.
Jesus, guys.
This comes from you're the one who always gets jolly and happy about the meat slap and meat beating, and you get all giggly. So I mean, you know. Anyways,
does this look like a happy face when it comes to me? No.
Coming out of the scrum tonight for the post show of the AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door, AEW President Tony Khan was asked about a meaty super heavyweight division in the future after the showdown between Samoa Joe and Jeff Cobb.
No.
Tony Khan said this, and I quote, "I think we can chant meat anytime. We've seen lots of meat moments. We've had some real monsters and monstrosities and meat chants and opportunities for that. We've got some great heavyweights when Jeff Cobb and Samoa Joe have hooked up. That's been exciting. We've got great big men and big stars. It's something to keep an eye on. There are a lot of champions in wrestling, but certainly anytime we can get the big men fighting, I love it. Even if we're not ready for a champion, those matches are exciting when we see people get engaged. When those big bags start fighting and they love chanting meat."
It's Tony Khan that loves meat. Get that right.
I just thought
we do not need a special championship for this. That's what the world title
he's gonna
is
do
for.
It. You know he's going to do it.
This boy is pushing.
You can put stories together that pitch Jeff Cobb and Samoa Joe together without. Stop giving him ideas. What's wrong with you?
Okay, Tasty Toes. Welcome to
Mr. Tasty Toes.
Tasty Toes moment of the night. Brought to you by Tasty Toes. Has anybody heard of what's happened to the Motor City Machine Guns, who were supposed to be making their AEW debut in April, May, now June? When are these cats going to show up in AEW, supposedly?
Yeah, where are they? They're in Cade.
Allegedly.
Right.
Monday Night Raw. I think we forgot about a big feature on Monday Night Raw that we didn't talk about. Monday Night Raw this past week killed it. Absolutely shot a shot so good that it's left everybody waiting and wondering what is going to come on this week's Raw, which is tomorrow night, and me, Mr. Clarke, and maybe Mr. Z, depending on how he's feeling. If he's fully recovered from the night, we'll be giving you a full post-Raw show tomorrow night. We're going to talk about everything that went down on the Raw, but the big thing that I think we're all waiting for is what's going to happen with the White Sick now. We saw one of the greatest vignettes when Uncle Howdy had a therapy session, an interview with Bo Dallas. That was very detailed, very deep, and answered the questions that everybody's asking, even to the point of, are you, ruining Bray Wyatt's legacy? What are we doing here? And Bo Dallas's way, in the character, in the gimmick, you were just like, yes, yes, yes. I even think this turned Mr. Paul back onto this storyline. He was kind of like, I'm just ready for it to get to the next stage. Then he saw this, and I think it's like, okay, I'm in. I'll get back in the pool now. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this storyline, where it's going? What do you think? I mean, I can't even guess what's next, but I mean, your thoughts.
I'm excited to see what happens next. I have a child who's very excited to see what happens next. I mean, it's gone as far as breaking out her feeding mask. So, I mean, I'm going to let this kid enjoy the story that's being told right now.
And really, that's all we can do is sit and watch. But, at some point, they're going to have to circle back to Chad Gable on top of everything else he's already doing. And then it's like, who else are they going to incorporate into this story? There's a whole stable, so it's not going to be just one person.
Well, and we know even though Pat McAfee had lost his father-in-law and wasn't in the show on Raw, and we hope everything works out there, but we know they've been messing with Pat McAfee too. So
that's true, on his show.
We have to wait and see. And that videotape that was given to Michael Cole was actually addressed to Pat McAfee. So there's something there. That was I hate when I scroll through Facebook while we're talking and see something that makes me go back in the day and go, that was a horrible moment. It just showed that fool, her liver plunge boy. I can't think of his name anymore.
Ahmed Johnson.
Yes, when he was part of the Nation of Domination. When he finally joined the Nation of Domination. Anywho.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yes. It was bad. And now we can get to SmackDown. SmackDown ended in a way that I don't know if anybody would have ever guessed or ever would have thought what this means, where this is going to go. We just hope that Paul Heyman has a quick and speedy recovery and we get to see him back in some way or another. The question is, who's going to defend the honor of Paul Heyman? Now, I know a lot of people are jumping in, it's going to be Brock Lesnar. And I'm like, why are we going to have Brock Lesnar come back? I could see Punk getting involved. I mean, my deal would be Roman Reigns is going to come back to defend the Wise Man and try to knock off. And I think this is where you get Jimmy and Jay back into it. I think you bring Rikishi to get the boys to forgive one another and do the fatherly bond to bring him back. And then Sami Zayn can rejoin the fresh bloodline. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about Seth maybe being this piece or one of these other people. I'm like, you know what? Give me Punk. I think Punk, because it's Heyman, you have his storyline there. I think Punk can put aside his difference with Roman Reigns. Plus, Roman Reigns and CM Punk have a deep, deep history. They've worked together before. I mean, why not have Punk in there? But, and again, could it be the ECW Elite making a comeback to WWE to take out the Bloodline? I think that would be an awesome one-night thing on Raw. Like if you had an ECW night on Raw and presented that, and they were, or on SmackDown, ECW on SmackDown, and they were going to confront the Bloodline, and you brought out Bubba and Devon and RVD or whoever else to confront them. I think that could be a fun little one night only. I don't know if I want a whole pay-per-view match of the ECW guys coming back. I don't know if I need that big storyline, but a one-night offer of like, we're here to defend the honor of Paul Heyman would be great. But what are you guys' thoughts?
Whatever works.
I mean, this was a great angle. They took out, and it's funny because people are like, WWE's just killing everybody off. They killed Chad Gable, then they killed Punk, and then they killed Paul Heyman all in 3 weeks. In this kayfabe, people take it too seriously at times.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what I'm reading.
I'm for the ECW Elite or Legends. How dare I say Elite? but Legends coming back to defend the honor of Paul Heyman. My only question is how sober RVD will be during all of this. And then on the other note, I mean, Roman gathering up some old friends and family to take it out would be even better. But we'll have to see where this goes.
There's a lot of things they could do, but I think what they're going to do is whenever they're ready for Roman to come back, that's when Heyman come back also.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's going to be someone who actually defends Paul Heyman before that.
Yes.
Right.
And there's a lot of talk that Heyman may come back with Roman and then turn on Roman. This is all a setup. And I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. And I think for once, it's like, give us the babyface Paul Heyman for a little bit. Give us the fun Heyman that we can get for a little bit. Now I know there's a lot of talks. Mr. C got excited about this. Now that Heyman's out of the bloodline, they need a new mouthpiece, which they really don't. Somewhat. I mean, Solo can kind of hang on his own. But I know a lot of people jumped on the train that Armando Estrada should come back, and I'm kind of like, okay, I get the tie to Umaga, but I mean, did he really have a major impact in Umaga's career? I mean, he was there in the beginning. He was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was entertaining on the screen. He was a great mouthpiece. But I don't know if he really brought what everybody's trying to make this big connection to Umaga. I think he was there for a little while.
It's more nostalgia, I think, is where it's at. And that's what I was trying to explain.
Well, and I get that, but I mean,
it.
My other aspects, what did he really do for Umaga that would help? I mean, really, what did he do that would make the bloodline entertaining? I mean, if I was going to bring Estrada back, I'd rather have him with Carlito or somebody that's more comedy, because Armando Estrada was always more of a comedy manager, and he just made the little
Monaco, Alejandro.
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't think with the seriousness and the savageness that the bloodline needs to be under, he'd be the right piece. It's like they need somebody.
That's a good point, though.
They need somebody on that same level. And I don't know who's out there that would fit that level. You know, you can't. I don't think they have. I guess maybe if you wanted to bring Rikishi in as a Savage, but I don't know if Rikishi controlled the Savage family. I don't know if that would fit.
Not at this point.
No.
I look out here. I don't know who would be a good manager, a good piece for them. Yeah, I don't know anybody that I can think of that would be.
Well, I mean, if they're going to run around and be like, quote unquote, hitmen the whole time and taking everybody out one by one, you don't need a mouthpiece. Just let them do what they got to do. Let them be savages.
Yes and no. I don't know if Solo Sikoa on his own is strong enough. Other than being the short little take them out, do this. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and that's all they need.
Jacob, well, no, if they do it that way, if they do the Savage beating, but if they get too much of Solo talking and doing too much of a little too much, and it could be faltering not to have that mouthpiece.
Can hurt him. Yeah,
because the Tongas don't need to really talk, and Fatu does not need to talk. Go ahead, Mr. Clarke.
No.
Solo needs to keep his stuff short and sweet and to the point. They don't need to have him doing long monologues or anything.
No.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I get worried about what they're going to do with him. And it's one of those things we have to wait and see. What they've done right now is they've made him look badass. They made Jacob Fatu look like a badass for sure. But here's the other aspects. We still know that Hikuleo is out there and doesn't look like Hikuleo's with New Japan anymore. We're waiting for him to show up. Zilla Fatu is putting out every teaser that he's next or he's on his way. We know that there's Journey Fatu who exists out there in this realm and who's getting a lot of attention. And there's a couple other names in the list that are out there in the wrestling world that could show up at any time and add to this.
They clarified tonight for a fact during the Forbidden Door that yes, Hikuleo is gone because El Phantasmo normally does a heart when he comes out to the ring and it's broken. So Hikuleo's gone. So we just don't know when he's coming.
And I mean, I'm all for this other aspect. Like I wrote in the text, I think I talked about my fantasy booking would be like build the bloodline like Bullet Club, NWO. I mean, bring in these guys and just let them run wild across the show where they're completely out of control. Where then when you bring Roman back in as the former head of the table who's trying to control all this, and then I would say you bring The Rock in, and The Rock is the high chief who's been masterminding all this behind it. And you have The Rock sell that hardcore storyline that whenever yes, WWE may have been there for us as the Samoans, but they never really let us shine. Only, only us that had to work our tails off and push and fight and struggle ever got to be on top. But they always
kick the door down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of us, they use as savages or wild, like we're out of control. They don't let us be people. They just let us be savages, and tell that story behind a rock and leading this new tribe of the bloodline could be incredible depending what they do, but that's fantasy booking, which I know we all have fun with.
Yeah, that's true.
But
we're not on Reddit.
The big thing is, I guess, I can't believe, mad respect to Paul Heyman. 3 bumps in one night.
Bump.
3 bumps.
At that age?
Oh.
Yeah.
And some nasty bumps. He took the Samoan spike, sold that like $1 million, then took the nasty headbutt, and then got put through a table.
Oh, yeah.
And they almost botched that because they almost didn't get Heyman up. He almost slipped, and then they got it, and yeah. Paul took some nasty bumps for for somebody that age, but Paul finally had
the way he was selling it from the very beginning, non-shaven, disheveled, afraid for his life.
Yes,
which is beautiful.
But it's been building up. If you've been watching Heyman, and Heyman does this when he was having, I think his fallout with Brock, he had that same gimmick where he was stressed out, knew things were going bad. This is what happened, and Paul Heyman doesn't. I don't know how he makes his eyes look so red. I don't know if he makes himself cry hardcore before he comes out there because his eyes were bloodshot. His facial hair was partially grown. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. And again, Paul Heyman's so wrestling. He may not have slept for the last week to make himself look like that. I know how committed Paul Heyman can be to that storyline, but we've seen it growing. Even last week when he told, last week on SmackDown when he told Punk, please take me with you. That wasn't just a one-offer. That was like him being honest, like, please take me with you. And, him hugging Punk like I needed that. I needed that hug to, if you're not paying attention to all the little details Heyman's doing, then you're missing a lot. And Paul selling when they pulled out the leg.
Heyman's
that was some of the greatest selling. When Heyman saw that, and he about freaked out and cried and broke down right there, like, well, you're just like, Heyman. Heyman is one of the greatest talents.
Heyman sells ice to an Eskimo.
Well, yeah.
He'll sell oceanfront property in Arizona. Good God, the man is golden.
Hey, Paul?
Yeah.
Paul Heyman, can I get you, Heyman Hustles, I got one. Paul Heyman, can I get you to convince Mr. Z to get in the wrestling ring and get somebody? That's yes. Heyman's got people to do wild, crazy things. It's true.
John Nelly, it's just a chop. Your chest might be red as heck. But
we're working for that one.
We're still
working on that one. We're working on that one.
Anywho, Mr. Z, since you're with us, tell us what we're going to get on Tuesday. Now, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast will be airing on Wednesdays on YouTube, but if you go over to the Patreon page, which we'll get in the description if it's not in there now, I forget if we got a new one, so we got to get the new one in there. But anyways, Tuesdays will be on the Patreon page. Wednesdays will be released on YouTube. So what are we going to get from the New Japan Pro Wrestling?
We got 2 more days. We have got 2 more days of New Japan Soul that we've got right before Forbidden Door. And yes, I'll talk a little bit of Forbidden Door, folks. Don't worry about it, because yes, we do have a new champion. Tetsuya Naito is bringing the belt back home. But as far as New Japan Soul, we're still getting geared up for the G1. We had Block A qualifying and Block B. This is both, tournament first rounds. Both blocks are looking for one more person. That's pretty much my main talking point. We're getting closer and closer to the G1 climax. I can't wait.
Which leads us to Wrestle Kingdom, which you got breaking news tonight. New Japan Pro Wrestling creating a new event for January 5th, 2025, the night after Wrestle Kingdom. Wrestle Dynasty, where New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to team up with AEW, CMLL, Ring of Honor, and there was somebody else in there. I forget who it is. Oh, Stardom. Even though they bought
Stardom.
even though they already own it as a subsidiary. But anyways, yeah, you got that big news to report.
Well, not just that. I mean, yes, folks, we do have the New Japan just bought Stardom, and don't worry, fellas. Whoever's out there, if you're a big Stardom fan, I'll start talking about that too. Don't want to break any hearts. Y'all want more? They want more Mina. I will talk about Mina.
And when are you going to start talking about DDT and wrestling on a train?
Oh, jeez.
And the murder grandpa literally pulling a gun out on a train.
I'll talk about that this week because that was
a
funny.
wild and crazy thing.
I found the murder grandpa is so entertaining. He's honest, and to be real, he's definitely a fan favorite at at GCW events. The kids love
for
him.
sure.
Murder grandpa is for the kids. So I mean,
well, and you
definitely
should
talk
be
about
proud
that.
of Suzuki, the murder grandpa himself, because he did not take that vacated spot under the learning tree. He told the learning tree to get lost.
You should have seen my face when he came up there. I was like, please don't. No.
He's like, no. He's like, delete that footage. Delete. Great stuff coming up this week. Great stuff coming this week.
Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever you want. Whatever tickles your fancy, folks, you'll catch it.
Mr. Clarke.
Tuesday on Patreon, Wednesday on YouTube.
There you go. Mr. Clarke, since we are...
All right, so we are talking... Evan...
You got to hold on.
Let me see if I can pronounce this.
You got to let me finish my thought or statement before you, jump in here.
Do it.
No. You get no intro for me. No,
I'm not giving you an intro. I have a question for you because you just said Patreon.
Oh.
I was going to say, since you're kind of the heading up the Patreon page, can you tell the fans what's the Patreon page? Basically, where they can go, what to expect on Patreon, what is all going on with the Patreon, and how that's set up, what they can expect, what they can find. Tell the Patreon to the fans, I guess.
So the current Patreon and the final Patreon.
Because
we kind of had a couple editions.
Yes.
Is patreon.com/valueow. That is the URL to it. And what you're going to find on there are articles. You're going to find some early video content before it goes on to YouTube. Right now, everything is free. You're just signing up just to view it. You don't have to pay anything. The eventual point will be to put things behind the paywall. We're not there yet. Right now, everything is free. Some things are early. Some things we will come up with that will be for Patreon only. So that's kind of also really why you want to sign up. It's for that other/extra content that you won't see on YouTube.
Well, the big aspect of that is what we can't say on YouTube, we'll be able to say on Patreon. So if you want to see us a little more uncensored, and not a horrible pay-per-view that WCW brought you. Yeah, if you want to see us uncensored, then we're gonna redo some stuff on Patreon. We had a video, but now it's post-dated, so we may put that aside and do a fresh video where we get to be a little more uncensored on something. When we figure that out, we'll let you know. But yes, Patreon is part of the Value Wrestling's growing brand. So we have the Facebook, we have the Patreon. We're all on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, the space. And so you can collaborate and work with us in all those different ways. And so with that being said, if you're not following us on Twitter, make sure you're following us on Twitter because we need your support with AJ Kirsch. AJ Kirsch is trying to earn a spot in Health and Fitness magazine. And so he is in a, damn it, my whole brain's farting on this. Anyways, he's raising money for childhood cancer and financial aid for childhood cancer.
Muscle and Health?
Yes, it's Muscle and Health or Health and Fitness, one of those magazines. You gotta go click on it, Muscle and Fitness. My brain is just totally farting on this right now. I don't know why it's so bad about that. Give me 2 seconds. I could go right here and pull it up. Maybe, maybe not. Everything wants to say F you right now. Everything's running really, really slow. As I'm talking about that.
Health and Fitness.
Health and Fitness.
For MrHealthAndFitness.com.
There you go. It's going to be in his, he's wanting to be Mr. Health and Fitness. He's going to be put in the magazine. It's a big thing, but he's raising funds and you can donate. Ooh, it is not good right now. He's currently in 8th place. He's in the final 8, so that makes him at the very bottom. You need to go to mrhealthandfitness.com/2024/AJA-J-Kirsch. That should be the link to the description of the video below and everything else. We're trying to help him get the votes. Get out and vote. We got 3 days left to make sure he gets number 1. Pay attention. You can vote once free every day, or you can buy votes. Make sure you wait until the votes are double to really extend out that and make that out. AJ Kirsch is a good buddy. We can't wait to see him at Stockton Con. Big breaking news coming out of Forbidden Door. Leo Rush has suffered an injury during tonight's ladder match and will no longer be able to compete against at Perfect Aaron 1 at American Rana this Thursday, July 4th. So that's coming out from Beyond Wrestling, but it seems like Leo Rush has suffered some type of injury. We hope it's not super serious, that it's something minor that is just, he needs some time off to let heal and be able to get to it. Hopefully we don't hear anything about Mark Briscoe being seriously injured after the spill he took, but we're excited to see what's going to come there. Now, Mr. Clarke has something to share with us.
The safest place.
Yes, AEW is safe. It's the safest place. But now, to Mr. Clarke with his report. The Clarke Report.
What is wrong with you?
Bro, look, if you want to do the Clarke Report, bro, you got to do the Clarke Report, bro. All right, bro? Just do your thing, bro.
Okay.
Maybe a part of my problem is I need to come up with an official title and none of this Clarke Report stuff. Anywho, moving on. Evan Housney teases what's next for Vice Wrestling documentary crew. In an interview with Fightful, producer Evan Housney teased future documentary projects for Vice after the conclusion of Who Killed WCW series. He said, "Oh, absolutely. There's definitely more Dark Side of the Ring episodes that we would love to do that we're actively looking into. There's other wrestling promotions in the past that I think had not quite the same fate as WCW, but a similar fate, where there is a lot of finger pointing and what happened. I think looking the business side of certain promotions would be very cool to see examined, sort of off the heels of this show. Already, we've gotten DMs, we've gotten text messages from people like, oh my god, ECW would be interesting to look at, TNA would be interesting to look at, and things like that. So who knows?" The idea of further Dark Side of the Ring episodes is always very interesting. They've done a fantastic job on this series, whether it's Dark Side of the Ring or whether it's a mini series like what we had with, Who Killed WCW. They've been doing a fantastic job, and it's not one-sided or not. It's not revisionist history, excuse me, is what I'm trying to say, the way WWE stuff is. And WWE's been doing some great documentaries also. And now that they've kind of given the reins to A&E, they've been doing some good stuff. But it's just kind of nice to see an outside source that doesn't have the revisionist history, in my opinion.
Dark Side of the Ring has been great stuff. Some entertaining. That not every episode's hit. They've been interesting, and they are what they are. But a lot of them have been great, and it's been behind the scenes. It's been clean. And of course, Who Killed WCW was great, except when you had Vince Russo on there, who was like bro and said bro 353 times on that episode, and said that he was better than 80% of the WCW wrestling, and then says, "No, I was just trying to get you Mark's attention." That's a fool running a fool's errand. Doc Jack kissing up to Tony Khan. Tony Khan posted on X, "What a great pay-per-view tonight. Thank you all who watched." And then Didac says, "Great show, man. Thanks for having me." What a fool. Anyways, I don't know if you guys checked out the last thing I sent in the message box. I thought you guys might be entertained.
I've seen it.
Yes. What a sham and shame there.
For the sickos, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all for the sickos. They had Sicko 1 and Sicko 2 signs there. I forgot who grabbed. Your boy. Was it Naito who grabbed them and held them up?
No.
Sicko 1 and Sicko 2 signs.
That was not Naito. He ain't that. No.
Well, one of the Japanese guys did.
Una, the shooter. Wasn't that the last person?
Oh yeah, the one of Brian.
Dance?
Brian Danielson, Takagi.
Yeah, Shingo grabbed it.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So the Club Venus dance with Mina, Mariah, and Tony Storm. Whatever.
Yeah, they're continuing a story. The Rep Pro Anniversary 12 has Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hisiro, whatever. So now Zack Sabre Jr. is going to pick up the scraps of MJF's leftovers.
Yeah, it'll probably be a better match too.
After Mystico and the Lucha Brothers pick up a big win at Forbidden Door, Mystico challenges Penta to a match in CMLL. After Mystico was attacked by the Lionheart Chris Jericho in CMLL. Not the Learning Tree, but the Lionhearted Chris Jericho showed up in CMLL under a mask and attacked Mystico. So now Mystico has challenged Penta to a match in CMLL.
What?
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Who's the next person to do the Monet dance? What if I told you it might be Swerve Strickland?
Why? Why?
Well, they're both featured with their titles together. Who knows what could happen? Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm not quite sure if you can even pay Mr. Z to do the
No, you can't. No.
to do the Monet dance.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh. What a long, interesting night. Forbidden Door was a pay-per-view. If you loved it, you loved it for what it was. You could go into it looking at it as a blank slate and just doing it. You got it. Some of the interesting facts that come in there. Kat, you are in the worst place ever. Thank you. Don't ever stand just on one leg. All right. Anyways, Tony Khan, the big news for Tony Khan, it looks like AEW and WB Warner Brothers Discovery should be breaking really soon. A new agreement. It seems like it's on its final days and the final legs and the final stretch. We shall see what happens to AEW TV program with Warner Brothers Discovery.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to see that. Otherwise, anything else, gentlemen, tonight?
Now it's time to go sleep.
All right.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything we can cover for one night.
2 shows, one night, over 2 hours of entertainment for you all, the great fans of the Value Wrestling. Make sure you're hearing that bell
But
for
we'll be back tomorrow.
Yes. It's a never-ending cycle here.
But will you be with us?
I gotta make sure my honeydew list is done first, folks.
Okay, so
the honey
go get your
first.
honeydew list done, and then you got to be here. So now you got a time restraint. So now you got to get up early and get it all done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It's called plenty of caffeine.
Yes, sir.
Huh? There's a Dutch Brothers near you.
I'm a Starbucks man. I'm sorry.
Woo!
Yeah, but they got the energy drinks. They can their own too.
Yeah, Starbucks got 2 energy drinks now. Remember, Dutch Brothers, we coming for you.
Again, I will say this: Dutch Brother cans their own energy drink, so Starbucks is close, and they might get a few flavors, but they're never going to get into the same pool as Dutch Brothers. But there's just 2 different entities into that, and Starbucks
there's two Starbucks by me that know exactly what I want when I walk through the door. So I mean, I can't knock it. That's how often
it sounds like Mr. C and Miss V are very comparable in that scenario. They walk in and it's like everybody knows your name.
This is why I prefer to endorse Jamba Juice.
Look, if you're gonna go Jamba Juice, we're gonna go old school. No, let's go old school. Orange Julius.
Real quick, is Marty Richards gonna need a new hat, man? Because I mean, the hats I showed you at Walmart were beautiful.
Why would
the
Marty
Bud Light
Richards
cowboy hat?
Why would Marty Richards wear that? That's not a Marty Richards gimmick. You don't understand Marty. Marty might wear a fedora, but he's not gonna wear a cowboy hat. Again, Marty Richards is his own piece, and if you keep talking about Marty Richards, you should know what happens, right, sir? You, of all people, should know by now that calling his name, it's kind of like Joe Henry. Say his name and he'll come save you. Give me a break. You want to go to church?
You might as just well say Hail Satan.
You forget, Marty knows where he lived now.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah. He could show up at your door.
Weenie.
Well, you're weaning your son, and everybody else might run from Marty if he shows up at the door. Anywho, ladies and
folks,
gentlemen,
loopy.
We're gonna go for the night. We're gonna see you tomorrow on the Monday Night Raw post show review. We're gonna break that all down. We're gonna get excited for this week. New Japan Pro Wrestling Podcast, Patreon on Tuesday, YouTube on Wednesdays. Fridays will be SmackDown. Scattered in there between, there'll probably be a Big Tyme rant. Go check out the newest content on the channel. We do have a wrestling collectibles show that I started. Tell me what you think. If you want to see more of that, let us know. That is very important. Let us know what you want to see. If you want me to bring back or us to bring back anything that we've done in the past and bring it back, let us know so we can bring it back. We're getting the Money in the Bank and SummerSlam season. Cat.
Dang.
Money in the Bank and SummerSlam season. Do you want reviews of old SummerSlams and Money in the Banks? Because we can bring back I forgot the old name of my own dang show, darn it. We can bring back the review show for old wrestling pay-per-views. Flashback Wrestling, there we go. Sorry, it is late. We've been going, and we're talking about a lot of stuff. So if you guys like that, and we may start a poll on Patreon once we get people subscribed to see what you guys want to see as content, as special content on Patreon, what you want to see on YouTube. We got to know because you're the people that make this all happen. We were at 509 as the start of this program. Let's get to 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. So share this out with everybody you know that loves. Share this out with everybody, friends, family, everybody that you know that loves professional wrestling. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications. Give this video a big thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, if you're watching this later, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section below. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you think. We're going to be back next week at a regular time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, with the weekly Roundup podcast right here on YouTube. Saturday night will be a Money in the Bank review show after Money in the Bank. And then the next weekend is the 12th, is the 13th and 14th of July, which means Stockton Con, which means hopefully we're going to be able to talk to Matt Cardona. Hopefully we're going to get to talk to AJ Kirsch. That's going to be a big man that we're going to get in touch with, and hopefully we'll be celebrating with him a big win because, right now we got to make the push. Make sure you vote for him. Check us out in the morning with This Week in This Date in Wrestling History, where we go over this date in wrestling history. We're almost to 365. What are we going to do next? I don't know. We will figure it out when we get there. And I think that covers everything. Am I correct? Patreon page. Check that out. And, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being here. We thank you for tuning in. Check out the Goldmine. If you're a Funko Pop collector, like I said, toy collectors, check out the Funko Pop. That's in the description. Go sign up for the Goldmine. They're on here. We also have a GoFundMe. We're trying to raise funds for WrestleMania so we can all go to WrestleMania in Las Vegas so we can be there to bring you guys best content from the inside. And we're working on all that wonderful stuff. We got so many things and so many places and doing so many different things at one time. It's interesting that our heads are still screwed on, especially when you talk about the men behind all this who keep this going every single day. The two men that work passionately, diligently to keep this ship afloat. And of course we have our partner in crime who helps keep the rudder straight. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've rambled on. I'm tired. I tap out. Should have tell them good night.
Good night.
Rest well, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
There you go. Oh.